I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but
Hey, welcome to Too Hard, Too Fast podcast, where if you smelt it, you probably dealt it. In this episode, we have James Ferguson the third.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is a badass. Why is he a badass? Because he is a bull rider. He's from Houston, Texas. I think I've said it on this podcast before. I'm not the biggest fan of Houston, but I am a fan of Texas, ladies and gentlemen.
Houston is the best city in Texas.
Ooh, I think we're gonna have words on that. But you know, I'm a fan of bull riders. I think it's the coolest thing in the world. I've never done it. I've always wondered if I have the guts to do it. So we're actually gonna get in. We're gonna get into that. Sit back, buckle up. Let's go. Too hard, too fast. Boom.
Welcome to Too Hard, Too Fast.
Welcome back
to Too Hard,
Too Fast.
Anything that rolls downhill, man.
I mean, old habits die hard, right?
It's the podcast by the people, for the people.
Well, I'm going too hard, too fast.
We are double fisted on that ass.
Only here, too hard, too fast. Let's do it.
Hey, welcome back to the podcast where if you eat too hard, you get fat too fast.
Hey, I have a problem.
So welcome everyone to Too Hard, Too Fast podcast.
That's right. Where we go off the rails and George has to worry about it. So here we go.
For the podcast of the century.
Cheers. What got you into bull riding, actually, first of all?
Actually, my uncle rode bulls. I got a great uncle that rode bulls, and my stepdad rode bulls, and my cousins and all of them rode bulls. So it kind of was just a traditional generational thing.
This runs in the family.
Yeah, somewhat. Just riding horses and all that.
Do I have the guts to become a bull rider?
Yeah, I think you might be brave enough to ride the bulls, but you might have to lose the gut a little bit.
Oh! So is there a weight limit on these bulls?
I mean, it's a lot of balance and control, and you don't want to be overweight. I mean, there are some bigger like muscular guys. Like for my size, they'll say, I'm a bigger frame guy. Normally you got the small, short, slim guys that ride bulls. It makes it easier for them, I guess. But with the bigger size, you just got to put in the harder work.
So what you're saying is, I may have the guts, but I shouldn't have the gut.
Yeah, exactly.
We should put that on the shirt somehow.
Oh yeah. I mean, I had to lose it. I had to lose a little gut too. When I first started riding, it's just really shaping up, getting some tone to your body.
Well, yeah, man. We can see the arms on there, man. Definitely in shape for it. At what age did you start riding bulls?
So there's actually categories. You go they start off from the sheeps to the calves to the steers. You know what I mean? Until you get to the full-grown bulls, and I started at the steers. So I was normally you start around 11, 12. So I started at 12.
12, dang. How big is a steer? So I'm like huge. Like I'm from a little town where we kind of grew up with FFA, Future Farmers of America, but definitely, I had friends that did it and I helped or tried to, but I'm not really into I've never grew up like that. So I'm very ignorant to all that stuff, but I'm a big fan of the stock show and rodeo, especially here in San Antonio. Huge thing, which you were just part of.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and I'm leaving.
And we'll get into that, but yeah, so how big is a steer?
I mean, steers, my very first steer was just as big as a regular bull.
Oh, wow.
Real tall, yeah. But they don't have the power as a full grown bull, but they can have the size as a full grown bull. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it just varies. It's all different shapes and sizes.
Their weight could be similar, like the weight of
Yeah, their weight can be similar or close to it. My first steer was actually a big black steer called Buffalo. He stood to the top rail of the chute. I was nervous, shaking like I was real nervous, man. And I got on it. I blacked out. I didn't know. I just remember getting up off the ground.
Oh shit! Did you ride the full 8 seconds?
No, no,
Yeah.
not my first one. I was worried about getting off and staying on.
Yeah. Oh man. So okay, you black out, but right before they open that gate, like when you're still conscious, what are you thinking? What is like? What were you thinking at 12 years old?
What am I getting myself into?
I was like, does that still kind of go through your head? Like now when you get on it,
Oh
I can
no,
imagine.
not at all, not at all. Now it's kind of just I'm here for a purpose. I need to stay focused. I need to get my job done. Like, it's a career, so it's a job just like you waking up and going to work every morning. So, I wake up, think about bull riding, eat, sleep, dream bull riding, you know what I mean? Just doing what I gotta do to stay in shape and make sure I get my job or I'll be broke.
Damn. Well, yeah, and I guess like yeah, it's your job, but technically, like how you said, is like I wake up, go to work, and think about the work I do. But at the end of the day, I made money that day. But for you, you put in the hard work, you're in there, and you can do everything right. But if that bull has a different decision for you, you can, like you said, maybe not earn for that
Yeah,
day.
I mean it's a gamble, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a 50-50 chance, but you gotta go in there with the mindset that hey, I'm coming here to win. And I mean, even if you don't lose, you know what I mean, most people they have, their own businesses or companies they can make money off of, or like me, I don't really have no businesses yet. But, I just go and do little side hustles, cut grass, clean probably some horse stalls here and there, just for my entry fees for the weekend or just for, I can get to the next rodeo.
So and I didn't mean to just make that sound so depressing or anything like that, but
No.
but I think it's super, like you said, it's a gamble, and I think it's super cool, like for someone to do that and know that, hey, I'm gonna ride this. It's gonna be a thrill, but at the same time, at the end of the day, I may get like a good price package out of it. And really,
Yeah.
you do it. I can't imagine that you'd even do it for the money. I think it would be. Do you, or what would you do it for? I'm sure everybody has a different answer for this, but for the money, for the fame that can come from it, or from the thrill, like what's that driving thing to make you keep getting on that bull?
I mean, of course there's a love for it, but you wanna know a real reason? I'm too scared to steal and too lazy to work. So
Well,
I'm getting out of my head, getting on bulls. I mean, it's fun, adrenaline rush, so it works out.
yeah, that's an honest answer, man. I mean, that's probably why I still wake up and go to work every day.
Yeah,
Same
for
way, man.
real.
And with this gut, I'm not going very far if I'm stealing.
Yeah.
but no, yeah, man. It's just like I said, I try to go to the San Antonio Rodeo every year that they have it, as much as I can, as much as I can afford to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, them tickets be high.
and even in the nosebleeds, I went to go to the opening this year. It's actually how I came across your name, because I saw Houston, or I heard obviously Houston, Texas. I was like, oh, we got a Texas guy. Saw your name and I was like, quickly looked you up. You rode. I'm not sure if you did full 8 seconds or not. But it was a good ride, that from what I remember. But then I think I read on your dude. By the way, trying to do research on you was like if I was looking up a ninja or something. Like on your Instagram is full of bull riding videos, and that's awesome. I kind of found your Facebook and was creeping on that for a little bit. Dude, you got hurt at the rodeo here in San Antonio?
Yeah. Yeah, I ended up getting hurt. Like, I mean, my first ride, I didn't stay on the whole 8 seconds. They marked me on the clock at 7.67. So that's still not 8 seconds, so I don't get paid. But yeah, my second bull, and this is just all a part of the game, injuries. I end up breaking my it was a break, no, it's a mild fracture of my tympanic bone and my temporal bone, kind of up here.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I was bleeding out the ear, and I was a little woozy, had a headache, and I mean that's just all a part of it, is injury. So as of now, I got to sit out for a month
Dang.
and a half, and now I got to go find some jobs to do so I can keep some money in my pocket.
So that's something. So I know, like, obviously, like some bull riders get, like, they don't have to worry too much on finding, but I guess you hear it all the time. I don't, or at least from movies that I watch and the little things I follow. It's like you have to find something in between to do. Is that like farm work, or is it like any kind of job you get, or what kind of work are you looking at?
And that's where it becomes like cowboying and stuff. I really don't. I live in a city, so I mean, of course, there's farm work out here, within the outskirts of Houston. But like me growing up, I really didn't just work with cows every day, sorting them, sorting calves and all that. I mean, I have buddies that do it all the time, and I want to go and do it one time. But that's why I tell people. I mean, I don't really consider myself a full cowboy because I haven't really just done everything. I just see myself as I'm just a bull rider out of the Houston, Texas, out of the city. But I mean, I live the cowboy lifestyle, but it's more to the lifestyle than just bull riding.
Well, okay, I want to go back to the injury because I kind of want to talk about that. But in a little bit hour after that, I'm going to ask you what makes a cowboy, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. Why that question? Which is why I was kind of hesitant to even throw that label out there to begin with.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so that injury, did it happen on the second night?
Yeah, the second night.
Bull landed on you, or how?
Actually, the bull, like, tie my hand in there, whatever, and the bull, the name of the game is, stay in the middle, keep your feet on both sides of him, stay focused in the middle of his back. I'm doing that, and while you ride, little mistakes can go wrong that you can recover from, and I didn't do no good recovering because, boy, I lost my foot. The spurs I have on, they supposed to keep a grip, but sometimes your feet will pop up. So my foot popped up and I went straight down. As soon as I went straight down, I had an oh shit moment. I was like, oh shit, here it comes. And it just happened all like really too fast. And I had a helmet on, but the bull caught me right up under the chin line here with his horn and knocked me back up. As I'm coming down, he's going up, so it really didn't help it much. So, and then I landed on the ground and crawled up out of it. I couldn't get to my feet too fast, so I would have fell back down if I stood up too fast.
Oh man! So the horn actually got you?
Yeah, not the end of it, but the actual flat part of the horn just kind of hit me, and it jerked my neck real hard to the right.
Well, that's just probably just as bad, right? Because it's like a thick, like solid thing.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah. That whole thing right there, that whole little strip on their horn, even the middle part where the hair is still hard right there.
Dang. And then you fell. You try. If you would have stood up, you probably would have blacked out or what?
Yeah, I was just, I probably would have fell back down. Even though you got adrenaline running through you, so what I mean. You feel like you can still go run a marathon, but once you get off that bull and your adrenaline shuts down, it's just like having drinking 2 Red Bulls back to back, and you start to crash once the Red Bulls come off. They wear off. So it's like once that adrenaline run off, yeah, it's gonna start hurting. I walked back to the locker room and my fingers started tingling, and I was just, I was out of there, man.
Is that the same feeling even when you get the full 8 seconds and you actually jump off the bull? Like, is it the same feeling? Dang.
Exact same feeling. That's when that's the happy part of the adrenaline. You get up and you scream, woo, you throw your hat, and you salute the crowd. Then you go back there, all your boys are happy for you too, you know.
So that high still keeps going. Like it's still
Yeah.
that. When are you having to have any surgery, or just it's a regular heal?
I didn't need no surgery. They just said, you know, take some time off, let it heal. I got to eat soft foods for right now. And I'm really starting to, you know, talk a little better. You know, certain movements just hurt. I can't chew on this side, and I got to
Dang.
put these little eardrops in my ear for an ear infection because I had, you know, the blood coming out of my ear. So
Yeah.
it's all a process to it, but this is
Dude,
the
now I
part.
feel a little bad that that I'm asking you to kind of talk, come on the podcast and talk to me, knowing that it's you're probably in some pain.
No. It's all right now. I mean, hey, if you want to do this, you got to be tough here.
Well, I imagine.
Yeah, you can't. You gotta be tough. You're gonna be dumb. You gotta be tough.
No. I'm one of those like hardcore Mexicans. Like you have to I have to really be dying to go to the hospital, and even then, I'm not gonna listen to the doctor.
Yeah,
They're full of,
I done been there before, man. I had another injury. I dislocated my left shoulder, and I was like, you know, go to the hospital, get it checked out. I was like, for what? I mean, it's back in now. What they gonna do? It's not out of place no more. So I just let it heal up for a little while. That's what I did, and went back at it for broaden and dislocated again, and did the same thing. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna let it rest up. And then when it came out the third time, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get surgery. I mean, normally after you get hurt, you just go party too hard, too fast, and hell, you'll be all right.
hey, too hard, too fast. You forget about it. Numbs
Yeah.
everything. That's right, man. All right, so okay. Earlier, I think I restarted this podcast like 3 times trying to get like the perfect intro, and I probably still messed it up, But I kind of in one of the intros I called you a cowboy, and I was like, oh, I don't know if like even you would label yourself that, or like so I don't want to label you that without consulting first. But so a lot of people here in San Antonio, me probably too, between 2007 and 2010, I wanted to label myself as a cowboy just because I wore cowboy boots, blue jeans, and a cowboy hat every once in a while, especially for college nights.
Yeah.
But definitely nowhere near a cowboy.
I mean,
what would you label a cowboy as? Like, what would make a real cowboy?
from what I said earlier, I mean, it's different aspects to a cowboy. You know what I mean? You can dress up and, you know, put your boots on and say you're a cowboy, but in all actuality, a cowboy is like what he stands for. You know what I mean? Is it the respect and the, you know, morals he have, and, you know, just being a good person when nobody's looking. You know, having integrity when nobody's looking around. You know what I mean? But, you know, everybody got their own way of looking at a cowboy. So, you know, you got people that ride only horses and don't even know nothing about cows, you know. I mean, hey, you can still call yourself a cowboy. You're a cowboy, you know what I mean? It's really just about the way you carry yourself, you know what I mean?
Dak Prescott walking in with his cowboy boots to the stadium. Does that make him a cowboy? Or the star makes him?
I mean, nah, I don't know about that. Just because you play for the Cowboys, I mean you're a cowboy. No.
Hey, I would probably agree. I'm a Cowboys fan, sort of. Okay, so when you get back on the bull, like, or actually, how many do you think about your injuries? Like, how many injuries have you had and things like that?
The worst injury by far will probably be the shoulder surgery. I had dislocated my shoulder. I had an impaction fracture on my humeral head in my shoulder. I tore a couple. I think my labrum, you know, a couple muscles up there in the shoulder. In my right foot, I got stepped on, but it wasn't that bad. It's just I don't have no like I don't. It just messed up the nerves. I don't have no real feeling. So like I could rub a knife across my ankle and I really wouldn't feel it.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and what else? I got cut across the eye a couple times. My legs are all bumped and bruised up. My knees are bad, and I'm only 21 years old.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Uh,
I don't want to like focus too much on the injuries. Like, I don't want to make that like the sensational part of it, but it's
no,
something
man.
that's always, as a fan, I'm always thinking about it. You know, there's two
Yeah,
things to think about, and the first one of them I think about it just because I guess other people that don't know they get, and we could talk about it too, but people are always like, how do you even like the rodeo? Like it's like mistreatment of animals, kind of, you know how, and we'll talk about that.
yeah.
But uh, I don't think that way. I don't see it that way. I know like these animals are pretty well taken care of, at least from an outsider's perspective. And like I said,
Yeah.
on the other thing is like I've always wanted to try like a bull riding thing. I've always wanted not to do it like as a more of a just do it as a one time because I'm a dumbass
Yeah, just
thing.
to get the feel of it and try
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Because knowing that I'm not gonna be good at it, and I'm not. But I love seeing
Hey,
it.
you never know. You
Well, maybe
never know.
you never
I didn't
know.
think I was gonna be good at it, but hey, man, you cut your dreams short, you never see the end of it.
Well, well, that's why I said like that's why I use the word dumbass because I meant for me like I would be a dumbass. Not you guys that are doing it. Me,
Yeah,
I would try to do it as like, to be that guy but
yeah.
only because I like trying different things. Um
One of those hold my beer, watch this type of moments.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. One of those. So I always think about like, man, like these guys must put their bodies through some hell. Like all of you look like you're in great shape, but you still put yourself through some damage. Uh
Mhm.
and you hate to see it. I mean, at least I think with that night there was a guy that got pretty busted up. Like the bull actually landed on him.
Yeah.
And it was my son's first time watching it. And he was all into it, and then that happens. He goes, "Oh, oh!" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." But he's also like a fan of wrestling. It's like people get injured and everything, even in like in wrestling where it's choreographed and things like that. Injuries happen everywhere.
Yeah.
Football, everything.
Oh yeah.
But I always wonder, like, because if you guys think about a past injury, or if it's one of those things like they say in football, like the last play is the last play, and it's something brand new now. Like the next ride is a brand new ride.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you try not you make sure you don't focus on the injuries because if you focus on the injuries, then just that little bit of focus you put on your injury, you can make a mistake on the bull, and then you buck off, and now you got to figure out how to get to the next one. Or I mean, bull riding is really a lot of mental than more than people think. It's a lot of mental. Like even if you got some stress going at home, you know what I mean. You and your old lady getting into it. You try to just forget about that moment. Just at this moment, I'm getting on this bull. I'm finna ride this bull, and I can deal with that when I get back home. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's all sports. You just try not to focus on the injuries and try to focus on believing in your skill and your craft. Knowing what you can do.
So I played a little bit of middle school football. I don't want to toot my own horn and stuff, but
You look like you can knock somebody's helmet off, man.
but you when you're in on the field, you don't really hear the crowd. Like you're kind of just focused on what you're supposed to be doing. Like you said, are you when you're on that bull and that gate opens? Can you hear the crowd because it gets loud? It's a stadium, uh, and in some cases, like it is an open field where I would feel like the crowd noise kind of loses a little bit. But when you're
Yeah.
in an arena, do you hear that loudness, like that roar of the crowd when that gate opens?
No, not really. But when the longer you do it, the slower things become for you. The slower, more you can break things down. So you know, um, just like you say, it's just like the arena. I believe it is real loud. You know, when you hear other people riding, but once you get on the back of that bull, for me, I can't speak on everyone else, but for me, it kind of goes in and out. You know, certain I can hear it probably at one point, and then it just shuts out for the rest of the ride. Or as I'm riding, I won't hear it, and then once I hear the whistle blow, then I can start hearing the crowd, and I get off and I hear everything, and I feel the excitement. But mostly when I'm on back of that bull, I mean, it's just I'm focused, I'm zoned in.
Yeah, yeah. So you're kind of trained by now to just hear for that whistle or hear that horn.
Yeah. I mean, kind of not really because if you look for the horn, then you're gonna probably sell yourself short. So the main thing is to stay aggressive, and just keeping things simple because bull riding is people don't think bull riding simple. It's really a simple game, and we make it harder than what it is. So I mean, just
I don't know.
focusing.
I
You
don't know
don't
who's
know.
thinking it's simple. I don't know who's thinking it's simple because even as a
Yeah,
fan, I don't. It doesn't look anywhere near simple. Like, yeah, maybe the concept. Oh, you stay on for 8 seconds. Yeah, that's simple. But
yeah.
there's
That's
so
what
much
everyone.
going on. There's nothing simple about it.
Yeah, they were. It's only 8 seconds. 8 seconds on back of a bull feel like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I
Ugh.
bet. Oh man, it's like I don't know. I was gonna make a stupid joke, but it's probably not appropriate. But I'm sure everybody's also like a lot of people think about this question, but the reason the bull bucks is there's a rope wrapped around the
His testicles,
the
his joints.
ballskis. Yeah.
Yeah. No, not at all. Not at
Oh,
all.
what for real?
Not at all. Not at all. And the rope, people think the rope is so harsh or you're gonna burn that bull up, you give him a rope rash or anything like that. And they think, oh, your spurs are so sharp and this and that. The spurs are very dull. And actually they have rules and regulations. You can't have a certain spur. What I mean, you can't have certain gear that's going to harm the bull. And that flank, the rope is actually like it's cotton. It's not really a tough rope. You know what I mean? So it's for his bull rope and the flank rope. That's what it's called, a flank rope, and it really just goes around the flank part of the bull. Right, like your dog as example, if you was to grab him by the hip or whatever, that's really where it goes, right up under there. And they are trained, they're actually trained to book that way, you know what I mean? They go home and they stock contractors or their owners, they work with them and day in and day out. Like bulls actually get therapy. Can you believe that? Bulls get therapy and
No.
massages.
No, man, you're like 100% blowing my mind right now.
Yeah,
This whole time I thought it was wrapped around their balls. Like 100%.
Yeah, they get massages and therapy, and there's some bulls out there that love their job so much you don't even have to tie a rope on them at all, and they'll do what they want to do. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's a day in and day out job, and just making sure that they do what they want and do what they love. Got my little pooch here too.
Nice. Nice. Even that's like the picture of a country dog right there too, right? Is it a blue heeler?
That's a mini Australian Shepherd.
Oh, way off.
Nah, yeah, he's an Aussie, but he does the same thing as a blue heeler. Work cattle.
Nice. That's a nice looking dog, by the way, too.
Thank you.
Dude, 100% mind blown. Like this whole time since
Yeah,
I've known, I thought that's what it was. I did not know it was a cotton rope. So even the ones what about the ones you grab onto? Is that
yeah.
like,
Bull rope, they're soft too. They're
wow.
soft. Yeah, they man. Only thing you pull your hand tight. You pull your rope tight so your hand can stay down. Your hand gets tight in the rope, but that's about the only thing. But the flank rope too. Like the once they take that rope and different bulls, different bulls can take different. It's the pressure. You know what I mean? It's pressure really. Some of them they get a little medium snug. Some of them get like a heavy snug. Some of them get a light snug. They don't really need that much. You know what I mean? And the whole purpose is the bull's just trying to kick that thing off. It's just trying to kick it off of them. As soon as that bull leaves that arena, they take that thing right up off of them. So it's not like it stays on them all day, every day. You know, it's just for that 8 seconds.
Yeah, no, and I knew that. I knew that. Well, I mean, I don't know if everybody would, but I knew that the rope kind of gets all taken off or they buck it off. But
yeah,
so it makes sense too. Like, we were talking about my pit boxer. Every now and then I'll try to put like a shirt on her or like a blanket, and if she's not feeling that,
shake it off. Like,
take it off. Like, dude, it's comfy. Like, why don't you? It's like, nope, I don't want it. So she'll buck it off or shake it off, and so I can imagine that make dude mind blown for real, 100%. Did not know that. So like and going along still with the treatment of animals, when you're saying they get in therapy and training, can an owner teach the bull to buck harder, or is that just whatever natural thing? Because I know some, like, it's always said like, oh, bull riders don't are like either, well, I guess it goes different ways, but you either don't want a certain bull because it's unrideable, or you want a certain bull because they're going to give you a good ride to where like it's going to make you look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So does an owner teach that to the bulls?
No, but you're exactly right about this bull has this certain thing to him, and this bull's gonna make me look good. Us bull riders also have to do our homework on different bulls. You know what I mean? Because you can't teach a bull to buck. Not at all. You can't teach a bull to buck. That just comes natural between their bloodline, and the only thing you can really teach a bull is direction. You can train him to go in a certain direction. That's really about it. You can't train him his athletic ability or how high he's gonna jump or how hard he's gonna kick. That just comes to them.
Are you guys giving a heads up on what bulls are going to be at a different rodeo?
Yes, for the PRCA, they have a website. They keep stats on us. How good we ride, what's our ride percentage. Just like they keep it on us, they keep it on the bulls. How many times they've been bucked within the year, how many times that people have rode them within the year. And just for it's a score for us, the bull also gets a score too, because it's 50 points to the rider and 50 points to the bull, depending on how hard the bull bucks, the direction change, and the rider is how easy you make them look, how dominant you are to the bull.
But when you get there, it's a lottery, right? Like you don't get to pick your bull. It's a lottery pick, right?
Yeah, they assign bulls to you. You don't get to pick your bull. They send you an email or they send you a list. They have lists posted up there, and you go up there, see what bull you have and which side he's going to be on, and you just go back there and look for him. You can't really hey, I want that one right there. No, I ain't doing that.
So I was always under the impression, like, I knew you guys don't get to pick which one, but I was always under the impression, like, I guess kind of like a hat draw, like you put the bull's name and you pick a name out of the hat kind of thing. I don't know, they assigned them to you. How do they decide which bull you get? It seems a little biased.
Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know how they pick it. I'm pretty sure it's just a random draw. I can't tell you about that, but if you was to go to a little practice pen or a little backyard bull riding or whatever, then yeah, you probably get that. Hey, put all the numbers of the bulls in his hat. We're gonna shake it up, and you pick them, and whatever you pick, that's what you got. But for the pro shows of PRCA, I couldn't tell you how they do it.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that makes sense. So when you said that the bulls get therapy, what kind of therapy do they get?
Just really like a muscle therapy and stuff like they just like you can have a cramp or whatever, or you got bones that's really not feeling right. They can go out there and they got different techniques and different things that they can do for the bull, for muscle therapy or You know, the bulls, they can buck so hard they can stretch a muscle, you know what I mean? Or they can crack a bone and they won't buck the same. So the owner's trying to figure out, like, this is not his normal trip. This is not normally what he do. So we got to go and see what's wrong. And it can be something as small as he got a splinter in his foot or he got like something stuck in his foot. So, you know, they take him back home, get their feet trimmed up, make sure their feet right. And after that, they're back to their normal self.
After a good ride, do they get a pick of whatever, cow they might want?
No, I don't think so. I think it'd be pretty cool if they did, huh?
Yeah, right. Like that. I mean, I buck really hard if that's exactly what what my reward.
Yeah, I love my job if I get that. Yeah.
Oh, hey, speaking of stats, man, when I was looking you up, it's crazy how I think they do it for golfers too, or whatever. But I should have said this a long time ago because we threw out a lot of facts, but too hard, too fast. We don't check facts, so whatever. But I was looking at your stats, and it's crazy that they put out like what money you made in certain events. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I even with another coworker, I feel weird like telling her like how much I make versus that. So it's crazy that y'all stuff is out there like that.
Yeah, they put it out there, but that's really more money you want, and that kind of dictates your position and making it to the finals. You know what I mean? They only take the top 15 to the finals, so the top 15 most money earned, those are the people that's gonna be going to the finals. You know what I mean? So it's that's really just the whole deal. It's just how much money you made within a year.
Nice. So I do want to know, what is your most memorable ride today or to date?
Most memorable ride?
Yeah, like the one that sticks with you most.
One that sticks with me the most is I was in Comanche, Texas one day. Didn't know how I was gonna get to the bull riding first. And I just ended up getting a rental car, had my brother ride with me out there. We also we get there, they have different rounds. They have a long round and a short round. So I made it back to the final round. And as I was riding, this is when I was being dumb. I had dislocated my shoulder, just let it heal up, and went right back to doing what I was doing. And I got on my bull, made it to the short round, and my arm actually popped out as I was on the bull. So like as I'm going, my arm is just like dead.
Oh.
So, but I still end up covering the bull and finishing the 8 seconds off with a dislocated shoulder, and I end up placing second at the bull riding.
You did what?
I end up placing second in the bull riding.
Oh, dang. So which arm was it? With the one that's holding onto the bull or the free arm?
It was my free arm. And that's kind of most important, the one you need. That's the one that keeps you balanced. So it was just dead, and I was just steady, I was looking weird doing it.
Well, yeah, and also because I saw like this guy, he rode the 8 seconds, but there was like he got a penalty or it didn't count because his arm just barely tapped on the bull up on the front of the bull, and so they disqualified it. I was like, man, so I can imagine if you're
this part to this part cannot touch the bull. None of this right here can touch the bull.
Did you have any kind of control, like to kind of just keep it away from the bull?
I really just kept it to my side and was just going like this.
You're doing the Ace Ventura thing, like
yeah,
bone.
My little T-Rex on.
Dude, okay, well that's badass. And then traveling from town to town or event to event, rodeo to rodeo, does that weigh in on you guys? Because I'm sure, I don't know how some other guys do it, but I can imagine they're just traveling from, I guess, using your own vehicles, driving, maybe flying, but I feel like that will get expensive. What is that experience like?
I mean, it's fun, but it's also got its ups and downs. You know what I mean? It's no feeling like traveling the road with your buddies, with the good people you see every weekend, you know, drinking a beer with, you know, the people you just hang out with on a daily, you know, even if it's just cooking on a Tuesday night, cooking steaks, drinking beer, playing cards, dominoes, anything. Those same people you get to travel up and down the road with, you know, 10 hours. I got countless of hours with buddies, you know what I mean? You get to know them, you smell like farts and shit, you know what I mean? In the car, you can't really help it. So, I mean, you just gotta just hang in there, you know, and it's all, you know, everyone helps everyone in the rodeo community. If they got it, they're gonna help it, and that's what makes, I guess, it so much better because everyone's family. You know, I see them as brothers than just, you know, a traveling partner, than just someone I can go on the road with. You know, there's somebody I can call on if I need help. He can call on me if he need help. You know what I mean? If he's in a bind, if it's money, or if you need a job done, or you know, just different things, and it's fun. I mean, it takes a toll on your body sometimes too, because you'll have to be like, before I got injured, I had to be in Mississippi. I was supposed to be in Mississippi tomorrow, but I can't. You know, I'm kind of hurt, so I was supposed to be in Mississippi tomorrow. I was supposed to go to Los Fresnos, Texas, which is almost to Mexico. Had to be there for the day after. You know, it's just, you'll be in Louisiana one day, then be in Florida the next day, and then be back in Texas the day after that. So, you know, those long nights traveling takes a toll on your body because you're tired and you still got to use all your muscles to get on the bull. So it's kind of like you just got to toughen it out.
Yeah, dang, I can't imagine that. Because I mean, I hate driving anywhere. I hate just driving down the street.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like that's an experience with that. So even the fact that, you know, at the end of the day, it's still a competition. You still want to rank higher than the other guys or your friends that you're probably traveling with. Does that ever get in the way?
No, not at all. I mean, I always want to see the next person win. You know what I mean? Even if they don't win, if they get out of there with no injuries, you know what I mean? You know, when I say my prayer before I get on, I always ask, you know, I ask God to make sure each bull rider, each rodeo contestant walk out the arena the same way we walked in. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And that's kind of a underrated blessing, you know, that I'm able to walk out this arena on my own 2 feet and able to go to the next rodeo or go to the next show. But as far as, you know, jealousy type, no, it's never a jealousy type. It's like, hey, if I do good and my buddy do bad, I'm gonna help him figure out what he did bad. You know what I mean? And he gonna point out what I did good. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like an iron sharpening iron type of deal.
I'm sure there has to be some kind of ego into it, but I would imagine a lot of those guys don't stick around. Well, I don't know if they stick around that often, but people just don't associate with them as much.
I mean, you know, man, rodeo family got tough skin, so you know, I talk shit. Oh yeah, you let that little piece of shit bull buck you off, huh? Oh yeah, but you know, he just takes it as, all right, you want to talk shit? Watch this next one. You know what I mean? Watch what I do next. It's just, you know, kind of pushing them type of talking crap.
My initial introduction to the rodeo and bull riding was 8 seconds. The movie 8 seconds.
Yeah.
So obviously, you know, in there's an ego, and sure that I you know, it goes loosely based on Lane Frost, but you know, that ego, and they get into fights and all things like that. So I always,
yeah, but my bad. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I'm sure I know. I feel like I know where you're gonna go. It's like, you know, me and my brother fight, so
yeah,
I can imagine
exactly.
you and your brothers fight. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, man, it's all the times we done fought. I mean, it can be as simple as, why did you do that? You know, like, just a simple thing. Well, why are you going this way? Well, we could have went this way. You never fucking listen. You know, why you want to stop at this girl house? We got to be at a rodeo by 12 p.m. She can wait. You know what I mean? So it's always, you know, the little fighting deal, but you know, it's all fun at the end of the day. I think that just brings you closer together, though. At the end of the day, you can get into it, and still like next time you see me, what's up, man? What's going on? What we finna do today? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Scrap a little and then go get breakfast or something.
Yeah, but I still beat you up though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you don't let them forget that. You don't let them forget. All right, James. So I want to close out with the way we close out this podcast with your too hard, too fast story. A moment where either you got too drunk to function, or a cautionary tale, or words of wisdom, or any story that you're comfortable sharing.
Okay. Pretty hard. I didn't have a lot of wild stories.
Or something that happened at the rodeo that's like, this happened just, or something like that. That
Yeah. Kind of trying to find kind of appropriate one, but
it doesn't have to be appropriate at all. It's not that kind of podcast. Well, whatever you feel comfortable sharing is what I just said. Like, it does not have to be appropriate, but whatever you feel comfortable sharing to the internets.
Okay. I'm not gonna say any names. So, but me and my buddies, we finished this rodeo in the Fort Worth Stockyards. I'm pretty sure you've probably heard of them, but we went there, got drunk, got wasted. I'm talking about. So, man. So we were drunk, and they had little statues or whatever that was out. You know, they had a bull over a restaurant. It was called, I forgot, it's a steakhouse, I think. I forgot the name of it. But across from there, they had a bull on one side and a horse on the other. So the town's like a ghost town. There's no one around. It's the end of the night. Everybody cleared out. You know, you got your few people that's still walking around drunk. We just walking around hollering at the top of our lungs, trying to get people to where everybody at, and we end up. Let's see if we can climb this roof and get on top of that bull, get on top of that horse. So we both got on top of the horse, and we both it was three of us. We all got up there. You know, we got pictures or whatever. You know, and I don't know why, but my buddy was like, "I'm gonna take a shit up here." We was like, what? Yeah, I'm gonna take a shit up here. He took a shit on top of the roof, pissed on top of the roof, and then he got up there to the horse that was up there and started smacking his butt, telling us, yeah, let's go. And I mean, we all got down and just partied throughout the night. We didn't get no sleep that night, but that's probably one of the wildest stories I've had.
How was he even in a comfortable position to like just take
I don't know. He put his back against the wall in like kind of a sitting squat position. And we were like, really, dude? Like, no, man, we got to get down now. You took it too far.
A poopster, man. I need to be sitting comfortable to do that. Get a little squatty potty.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. The coolest thing is that you got pictures. I feel like that's one of the things, like, all right. And nowadays you have to like tell all your friends, like, all right, these pictures don't get posted anywhere. They're just for us.
Exactly. These go to the grave with us.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's for us only. Oh man. Dude, that's an awesome too hard too fast story. James, I really appreciate your time. You know, whatever, now that you're, you know, part of the show, whatever you're promoting, whatever's going on, man, I'm gonna keep following you and I'm gonna keep sharing whatever you got going on.
Okay, man, I appreciate it.
No, of course. And then I would love to have you back on, but if you know, it's up to you. If you ever want to come back on, man, I would appreciate it. I feel like there's always plenty of stories to share. So,
oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna keep making memories so I can keep bringing new stuff to the podcast, man.
Yes, I would appreciate it, man. I love hearing, you know, a different lifestyle than I have. So, yeah. That's an awesome thing, and I love being able to share it with people. Your Instagram is at JFERGUSON_64. J Ferguson _64 on Instagram. So, dude, your videos are awesome. So I hope some people follow you and check them out.
Okay.
But like I said, love to have you back on. But with that said, remember, dare to be you, dare to be weird. Bye.
See you later. Appreciate you.